It was about 5 years ago that Patrick Lyoya first stepped into Restoration Community Church, a small United Methodist congregation just outside Grand Rapids, Michigan. He was a new face, but he had a familiar story. Like most of the congregation, Lyoya belonged to a sprawling African diaspora in Grand Rapids who came to the United States seeking safety and a better life. In Lyoya's case, his family arrived as refugees from the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2014. They had escaped war and fear of persecution, and after more than a decade in a refugee camp, they seem to have finally found a haven in Michigan. America meant opportunity for the family, so when Banza Mukali, the pastor at Restoration Community Church and himself a refugee from Congo, met Lyoya, he could sense a promising life ahead. He was a very young man who had the future. He had something in it, Mukali said. You could see him just trying to look for himself, how he could be better in the future. That future came to a sudden and tragic end earlier this month when Lyoya was shot and killed by a Grand Rapids police officer after he was pulled over for allegedly driving with an unregistered license plate. Video of the April 4th traffic stop released by the Grand Rapids police showed a brief foot chase followed by a struggle over the white officer's taser. The video ends with the officer shooting Lyoya in the back of the head while he was face down on the ground. Lyoya was 26. The harrowing video of Lyoya's final moments has spawned days of protest in Grand Rapids over the death of yet another black man at the hands of law enforcement. Nearly 2 years after George Floyd's murder sparked a nationwide reckoning over racial injustice and police misconduct, Lyoya's case, for many, represents a measure of the steep challenges that persist. Yet for those who knew Lyoya, he is not a symbol. They knew him as a son, a brother and a father, a person of faith whose life was inextricably shaped by war. They remember him as someone who was quiet and kind, someone who loved music and soccer, but someone who loved his 2 children above everything else.